So the market took a strong nosedive yesterday. What does that mean? What does it add up to? Is the bear market here? Or is there still plenty of bull market left? I'm going to tell you exactly what I think and the data I am looking at to make those decisions for myself. Welcome to the Crypto Rainn channel. If you like money and crypto and are looking for a real investor's take on the crypto market, join the Rainmaker family by liking this video and subscribing with the all notifications and bell enabled. Now remember, this isn't financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm a crypto investor, and I went from thousands to millions over the past 4 years. And I share with you what I look at and how I think about investments that help me to do that. So let's take a look back and look at some Bitcoin history. Let me share my screen with you. Here we go. So going back to March of 2020. Now that was before many of you were in crypto, but it was the bear market. We did have this big rise that mostly came out of China and India, actually driven by a total Ponzi scheme. And it caused this early rise, which kind of didn't make sense to all of us. We knew we were in the middle of the bear market. And then Bitcoin, it went all the way up to 14,000, but then had come down to about the 6,000 level and then run up to about 10,000. And when it came down to about 8,000, it made sense. And then we had some fears related to the pandemic. Essentially, the stock market tanked because businesses were going to be closed down, and really the effects of this were starting to be seen across the market. And so the stock market sold off. And when the stock market sold off, guess what happened to the crypto market? It got dumped as well, and it got dumped to amazingly low prices. It actually went down to 3,800 for Bitcoin. Imagine if you could buy Bitcoin at 3,800, would you have? Now think about it. There were some people that were selling Bitcoin at 3,800. Why? Well, because panic induces panic type actions. And what do a lot of people who are new do when they're investing? Well, they panic sell. What are we currently having? Well, we're having a little panic sell related to coronavirus again. Now, is there a reason to panic sell? Well, a lot of people are concerned that maybe the bull market is over, and I get that concern. Is it over? Well, it would be a really, really odd cycle if it were completely over. My guess is it's not completely over. So why did we have this big dump? Well, for whales and the players that understand the psychology behind the market, and they've been doing this for a long time, in order for them to make large amounts of money shorting the market, they have to have a lot of people that are long. So they look for opportunities when there's a lot of longs that are on the market and a lot of leverage going long. And then they usually take some kind of real fear out there and they amplify it. And so is there plenty to be scared of with this new strain of coronavirus called Omicron? I don't think so. You know, they say, oh, it's more resistant to shots or the vaccinations. Oh my gosh, children can get it. But if you look at the symptoms and everything, the mortality rate is abysmally low. It's really operating a lot like the flu. And, coronavirus story has been pretty contagious. But the lethality rate was at least a little bit concerning. The lethality rate on this seems like it's even less than the flu. But they usually take something real, some kind of fear, and they pump it out there to induce more fear so that they can take a lot of shorts, and there are plenty of longs for them to take the shorts against, and bam, they liquidate all those longs, which causes a cascade effect downward and causes the price to wick down. If you think about how sizable that wick was, so we were about 58,000, and at the bottom went all the way, actually, even though this doesn't show it, to about 40,000. So they made a killing and probably are now buying back up and have bought this dip back up. And my guess is we might see another little small bounce down, but then we're entering this climb back up. And so I think December is actually going to end up being a pretty good month, though I think most of the action from the bull market is going to happen probably February, March, April is my best guess. Now, looking back here, when you see this big thing that happened here, so look how it climbed up, and it took a little while even to get back to this level. So we're in mid-March here. It took till mid-May, so 2 months for it to get really back to this previous high here, and then dip down a little bit, and then it was really off to the races. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see something like that. Now, we've been kind of wondering what is going to happen. Are we going to have a big run in November, December, kind of like the last two cycles have? Or is it going to be a lengthening cycle? And I released a video about a week ago talking about my bet is on the lengthening cycles, especially because we're already in December a little bit and we're not seeing enough activity to suggest that this run is going to happen in November and December. Because if you look back, what is the whole lengthening cycle argument about? Well, Bitcoin has a halving every 3 years and 10 months. And so from the first halving in 2012, the market peaked actually 368 days later. Then from the second halving, the market peak happened 526 days later. So do you see how the cycle seems to be lengthening? Even though this happened in December and this peak happened in November and until the beginning of December. And so many have thought, well, maybe it's more correlated to November, December because of all the holidays happening there. And people get together and talk about all the gains that they've made. I think it is some of that, but it's seeming to add up to be more of a coincidence and that there are these lengthening cycles going on. And so perhaps this cycle is going to run somewhere around 700 days before the peak. And if it does, that could be peaking out in May of 2022. Maybe even April. And so my bet's on that we are having these lengthening cycles. It looks like that's backing it, which is great because that means we still have plenty of bull run left, and that's going to be an exciting ride. So join us on this ride. If you're ready to level up your crypto game, subscribe to the channel just to get a different take. My background's been investing for 20 years. I tend to be a contrarian investor, and I feel like my take, part of the reason I started this channel, I don't need to. I could just retire from crypto already and just put it actually into stable coins and live off the passive income. But I started this channel because there's plenty of money to be made still out there. I wanted to share with you, I felt like there was a need for some of the views that I had that are different from you that you get on a lot of YouTube channels. So hopefully you find that valuable. If not, that's cool. You can always unsubscribe. But if you do find this valuable, fantastic. It's made me wealthy, at least the crypto market has, and I'm excited to be here. Investing in other things, I switched everything to crypto because I saw these short cycles from bottom to top and this technology that's absolutely going to revolutionize the world. And this is probably the best opportunity I've ever come across my whole life. And as far as such a short amount of time to make ridiculous amounts of money. Though I say that, it does take at least one full cycle, if not two, to make substantial wealth. Why? First of all, you're always bad before you're good. You usually have a learning curve to start to figure out how to be good, as well as how to not panic sell, how to buy when it's boring, and then sell when it's exciting, right? And so all these things are the way investors think about things. And so that's what's helped me to really make the most out of the time I've been in crypto so far, which has really only been 4 years. And so if you're trying to be here to make life-changing gains, if you'll commit to the next 5 years, I think it's going to go substantially better for you than it will just this cycle, especially if you will stick around during the crypto winter when the prices are going to get really cheap. Well, that's all I have for you today. Join us. Subscribe to this channel. If you haven't hit that like button, if you would do that for me, really helps to grow this. Because as I grow this, I'm able to get better giveaways for all of you. Thank you so much. Stay tuned. This next week, we'll be giving away 125 won from WonChain that we give away every week because of their sponsorship. And as I grab more sponsors like that, I can do better and better giveaways for you. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time.